Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Adam Eisen Show. It is now episode 17 and the biggest week of the year is here, guys. I could not be more pumped. The Super Bowl is this weekend. We got the Cincinnati Bengals, who haven't played in the big game in 33 years, facing off against the Rams, who are on their home turf, who sold out this season, who's in LA, got all the big stars, and who is many people's favorites to win. We are going to be getting into all of that today. Like I said last week, there's a real exciting show planned. I've got a few different guests jumping on throughout, so let's go ahead and get into it. Now, obviously, I'm going to start with the Super Bowl today, and this is a historic game. This is the second time in NFL history that two number one overall quarterbacks are facing off against each other in the Super Bowl. And in my opinion, this is one of the worst possible matchups the Bengals could have gotten out of the whole NFC side. And let me tell you guys why that is. What the Rams are going to do this weekend is they are going to make the Bengals beat them on offense. And how they're going to do that is with having Jalen Ramsey, the best corner in football, split on T. Higgins. They're going to double team Jamar Chase, and they're going to severely limit the weapons. Now, not to mention that, the Rams also have Aaron Donald, who is arguably the best overall football player in the world right now. And when he retires, he's going to be put on the same chart as Lawrence Taylor. And they have playmakers around the entire field with Von Miller and Weedle, just to name a few. The Rams' defense is stellar. It's not like one that the Bengals have played yet this season. If we recall the last good defense that they played, which was the Titans, Burrow got sacked 9 times, and now they're playing one of the best defenses in football. The Bengals' O-line is absolutely abysmal. Don't let one good week against the Chiefs distract you guys. The last time they played an elite D-line, like I said, they gave up 9 sacks. The one singular outlier here for the Bengals, in my opinion, is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has proved us wrong time and time again. And I'm going to get into it later in this show when I have my first guest on. But if Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl this weekend, we are really going to have to take a step back and look at his career from the last 3 years, because it has been like something we have never, ever seen before. In the last 7 to 8 weeks, Joe Burrow has developed right in front of our eyes. What he said the other day about working in silence, let your game show your hard work. Joe Burrow is just an all-around great dude. It's who everybody wants leading their team, especially the Cincinnati Bengals, who have been at the bottom for years. Everybody projected the Bengals to place 4th in the AFC North. And now you got this lethal duo, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. It's truly special what we're seeing. And if they're able to win the Super Bowl this year, how we talk about Joe Burrow is going to be incredible. And I'm excited to see what comes. Now, transitioning over to the Rams side of the field, I think the Rams are better on every single part of the field and in the coaching room. Sean McVay talked about earlier this week, the first Super Bowl when he played the Patriots, final score was 13-3. Rams lost. He said he came in and tried to do too much, tried to overthink it, and I believe it was Tony Dungy. Someone was on the Pat McAfee show earlier this week, and he was the Colts head coach when Peyton Manning was there, and he was like, honestly, for the first couple tries playing against Brady, playing in the Super Bowl, we'd have weeks to prepare, and we would be changing everything, like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and oftentimes that does not work. The Rams this time around are coming back. They have so much Super Bowl experience around their entire roster, and Sean McVay is an absolute offensive mastermind. I think everybody except for Mattress Mac, I don't know if you guys know who Mattress Mac is, but he's laid like $9.5 million on the Bengals to win. It's crazy. But other than him, I think everybody's betting the Rams money line here. The spread's a little bit more interesting, but you guys will see what I have to say about the spread come the end of the episode. Going on with the Rams, I do, and I think a more majority of you guys do. All of us have a soft spot for Matthew Stafford. We all know kids in life who never had great structure, who just weren't brought up in the right way, didn't have structure around them, weren't loved, weren't cared for, stuff like that. And when they become an adult, there's sometimes problems. And now, if you look at kids, and you look at football, and you look at structure, it's kind of the same here. Matthew Stafford, for 13 years, he had zero structure whatsoever. His life was completely unstructured in Detroit, and he was the only pillar to that building. He was the only thing holding that franchise afloat. And now, Matthew Stafford, despite all that misstructure, despite all that, just like kids go out and beat the odds. He goes out there, he's balling and winning with the Rams. And like I said last week, everybody needs to be thanking the city of Detroit. Everybody from LA. What they put Matthew Stafford through is why he's able to throw those balls to Cooper Kupp against Tampa Bay. It's why he's able to come back in the NFC Championship game. And it's just that underdog mentality. Matthew Stafford knows how to play this way. It's harder to root for guys like Big Ben, in my opinion. Big Ben, I talked about it a few weeks ago. It was the last week of the season. And Big Ben's always been a guy who, he's the big body. He's always been built for this. He came in the league and he was instantly a success. Hot shot, all this stuff, and he was just kind of handed everything, and it was just naturally gifted. Matthew Stafford has been having to grind. What I think back to, and I know a lot of you guys probably remember this, is Matthew Stafford in Detroit when I believe he broke his collarbone on the play. Broke his collarbone, and he laid down on the field, he was laying there, and then pops back up, he runs over the sideline, had to come out for a play. Or no, it might have been timeout, and was able to go back in. Training staff was trying to hold him out, and then he just pushed him aside, and he said, if you can throw the ball, I can throw the ball, I'm playing. Matthew Stafford came out there, threw the game-winning touchdown with an arm that was completely falling apart. We all know kids who don't have real structure. We all know football players that don't have real structure. It's hard in the same way to break out of that mold and to flourish like Matthew Stafford has done. Imagine what it could have been if it wasn't for the Lions. And I just flip Matthew Stafford around with a couple guys on a few different teams. Matthew Stafford and Big Ben, flip those two. Matthew Stafford goes to the Steelers with all this structure, with Mike Tomlin, with a great defense. Imagine what he could have won. And Big Ben goes to Detroit and is battling for his life for 13 years. Probably has to retire a few years even earlier because of the amount of hits that he took. That's the other sad thing. We're probably going to see Matthew Stafford have to retire in a shorter period of time. Like, he might retire a little bit earlier because of the amount of hits and the amount of stuff he went through while in Detroit. Matthew Stafford, he's completing 72% of his passes this postseason. A 6-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. This is McVay's second Super Bowl. Cooper Kupp's second. Aaron Donald. They just have people all over the field. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the Rams came out firing on all cylinders and went up 21-3 against the Bengals. Aaron Donald, I think, is going to absolutely wreak havoc. They are not going to need to rush more. Don't be surprised if we see 3-man rushes from the Rams and they're playing 8 deep to stop all the weapons. They have the talent to do that. And I want you to keep an eye on this bet. Aaron Donald, 16-1 to win Super Bowl MVP. He will be double-teamed every snap and he'll get through, while also leaving Von Miller on the other side single. They're going to be having to move guys around on the Bengals O-line. And if this is a low-scoring game, remember what happened with Von Miller in the Denver Super Bowl. He won MVP. Aaron Donald could do it here. It's not bad odds if you're having to just throw around some money. This, like I said, it's top defense. I think Tyler Higbee is going to need to be involved big time for the Rams. After he went down in the NFC Championship game, it kind of changed the Rams' offense a little bit. They feed a lot of stuff through Tyler Higbee, their tight end. So if he can stay up, he can stay healthy. I personally like the Rams money line. You guys will see my spread pick, over under, prop bets, all that fun stuff once we get to the end of the show today. But it's about that time to welcome our first guest for today's show. You guys might remember him from a few weeks ago, back right before playoffs started. Levi, thanks so much for coming on today, buddy. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. So we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl to start things off. I want to hear what your original thoughts were. We've obviously got two different types of cultures. One swings big, is in LA, after the big stars, Von Miller, OBJ. The other has been at the bottom of the league for years, has not made it here in 33 years, has stingy owners, no practice facility, and yet, because football is the greatest sport in the planet, they have made it to the Super Bowl. How do you feel about the upcoming matchup?
It's going to be great. I mean, the Bengals being 4-12 last year, Joe Burrow having a phenomenal year, seeing the Bengals being in the playoffs just for like in the past 30 years, and now being in the Super Bowl is insane. So it's gonna be a really good game. But I mean, regardless of the Bengals hype, I think the Rams are gonna probably beat down on them.
Yeah, I would expect for at least the first half the Rams to really beat down on them. And I'm happy with a lot of people aren't happy with the way the Super Bowl turned out this year. And I'm like, well, the Bengals on one point, I'm sure you had them too. Everybody had them ranked 4th in the AFC North coming into this year. If you would have told me that team gets them to the Super Bowl, I would have never believed it.
Well, I mean, my realistic pick out of everyone was still KC.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm glad to see the Bengals made it because, they were by far the most underrated pick.
Agreed. No one was expecting the Bengals to make it, and one man has basically got them there. And that's where I want to transition into this, is Joe Burrow now, if he wins the Super Bowl this weekend, he has beaten Patrick Mahomes twice. In his final year of college, he had basically the best statistical season out of any player in college history. Won the Heisman, won the national championship, tore his ACL the next year, and then comes back the next year and wins the Super Bowl. Where do we put him among quarterbacks in the NFL? Because in my eye, he should be number 1.
NFC and AFC?
He's, in the last 3 years, if he wins the Super Bowl, name a better football player on this planet.
I guess I can agree with you for sure, especially with how much pressure he's been having with their O-line.
Dude, their O-line
like
is
times
terrible.
against Tennessee. Yeah, which is why I'm worried about how well he's going to perform against Aaron Donald and Von Miller.
The one plus for the Bengals here is that when Joe Burrow is blitzed in this postseason, he's been blitzed 20 times. He has completed 17 of 20 passes overall. So the Rams are probably only going to be rushing for... What?
I said that's incredible.
Yeah. The Rams are probably only going to be rushing 4 the entire time. But still, Aaron Donald's going to have to be double-teamed. You're going to have Von Miller on the other side with just one man. They're definitely... The Rams are the best defense. I said it earlier in today's show. I think this is the worst possible matchup the Bengals could have gotten out of the whole NFC side. The Rams just match up perfectly on them.
Yeah, I just don't think the Bengals are going to be able to keep up with the Rams' offensive momentum. Like what we saw with the Rams versus Bucks, I mean, the biggest factor was getting pressure on Stafford. And they didn't do that the first half of the entire game, and we saw where it went. It was like 30-3.
Yeah,
so,
I don't think they're going to be able to get pressure on Stafford.
That's what I'm saying, and he's just going to rip it to Cooper Kupp the entire game. So,
there's so many pluses on the Rams side, especially with coaching and Sean McVay. McVay was talking earlier this week how, like, the first Super Bowl he was rigid and tried to over-prepare. And now I see Zach Taylor, as I think he's 34 years old. He's going to come over in here and probably over-prepare and try and add in all this new type of stuff that could really mess the team up.
Yeah, McVay definitely has the experience now, learning mistakes from the first one against New England. So we'll see how he performs in that way.
It's just amazing to me the Bengals were able to get here. And it's really good for the whole city of Cincinnati, the whole state of Ohio. The GMs, I heard this Michael Lombardi say this earlier this week. When he used to be a GM, and it's still the case now, people do not even bother to call Cincinnati for trades because the Brown family does not trade. They don't even call. So
that's crazy.
It's amazing that the Bengals were able to get here. I'm hoping if they win the Super Bowl, they can afford an indoor practice facility. I heard a story from, I think it was AJ Hawk earlier this week. And he was like, back when I was in Cincinnati for the couple of years, we were driving an hour and a half to go to an indoor practice facility. I'm like, how?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And the thing is with Burrow and them reaching the Super Bowl, they're going to be bringing in a lot more revenue next year, regardless of if they lose.
100%. Their jersey, it's impossible to find a Joe Burrow jersey.
Yeah, which means there's going to be extremely high demand.
Yeah, if they win the Super Bowl, oh my God.
Yeah, the revenues for apparel will go through the roof.
But with Joe Burrow, there's all these things to debate. There's Rodgers, there's Wilson, there's Mahomes. There's all these great other people, but this sport is about winning playoff games and winning Super Bowls. And if Burrow in his first year comes out and wins all his playoff games, win the Super Bowl, Dan Marino may be the best thrower of the football ever. But who do we talk about? Brady, Montana, and Peyton, because they were winners in the postseason. Rodgers in the regular season could be better. No one's going to talk about Rodgers in 20 years unless he wins another Super Bowl. Everybody's going to talk about him as the diva that started controversy and stuff like that. Rodgers and Mahomes both have one Super Bowl. Rodgers has had plenty of more opportunities. Mahomes has had plenty of opportunities the last few years to win another Super Bowl. So if Burrow comes in with a perfect record, I don't know how we don't put him at the top of the NFL.
Yeah, and being in his second year, I can definitely agree with that take. You've seen Patrick Mahomes be in a few NFC championships now, and he's got one ring.
Yeah, and two Super Bowls, 4 AFC championships.
Yeah, and it's same thing with Aaron. It's basically.
Yeah, I'm roasting Mahomes, but Aaron's far worse.
I mean, you put statistics on the stat sheet and good numbers, but at the end of the day, when what does it matter when you don't accomplish what?
Exactly, you're never gonna remember anything. Peyton Manning had a ton of interceptions. No one ever remembers the interceptions. His final season in Denver, I think. That regular season, because Brock Osweiler played 6 weeks of that regular season. Peyton had 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions for the whole regular season.
Denver's defense definitely won them that season.
But it's just wild, and that's how that just helped Peyton's legacy. No one's gonna remember the 9 and 17 other than me, just because I remember seeing it, but. No one's going to remember that. Everybody's going to see the ring on his finger and go, oh, you're a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, it's kind of like the quarterback win ratio, regardless of stats. People look at that and...
Yeah, exactly. It's about how much you can win. Especially in this league, the quarterback is what controls everything in this league. The quarterback is your point guard. He makes the shot. He calls the shots.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
All right, thanks so much for Levi for coming on today. We had a few technical difficulties with that last segment, but we're going to have Levi back on in a couple weeks to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady situation, and the NBA, bunch of different topics, so be looking out for him. The last part got cut off where he made his Super Bowl pick. He picked the Rams -4 and the over 48.5, so keep that in mind for the end of the episode. Now, before we bring on Andrew and Johnny today to finish up our Super Bowl coverage, I want to introduce a new segment to the show I'm going to be doing all throughout this offseason called Yay or Nay. It's a simple idea. Each week, I will come up with a question to answer for you guys. I think that has a good bit of controversy over it. Starting it off with the first edition of Yay or Nay, I want to debate if Philip Rivers is a Hall of Famer. Now, Philip Rivers now, he's coaching high school football out in Alabama. He's got one of the best high school football teams in the country. And looking at his stats from football and his NFL career, Philip Rivers threw for 63,444 passing yards. That's sixth all time. 421 touchdowns to 209 interceptions. That's a 2-to-1 ratio. 7.8 pass yards an attempt. That's a really good number, guys. And 134 to 106 overall win-loss, with a 64.9% completion. He made it to the AFC Championship game once, had 11 total playoff games, 12 4,000-yard seasons, and not to mention, he was on the Chargers. Like we talked about earlier on this show, about how gifted people can end up in unstructured places, can end up not in great places, and that's what happened with Philip Rivers and the Chargers. The Chargers, before they moved to LA, they can't even sell out their LA stadium when they're playing there. But before then, they had, I think it was like a 27,000 person stadium. They could not even sell that out. The Chargers have never been that big name brand team, and Philip Rivers was the highlight there for years. And I went and was like, okay, Philip Rivers has these great stats, but we need to see who else is in the Hall of Fame and who he's better than. And I found one big comparison that got into the Hall of Fame that makes an argument for why Philip should get in. Warren Moon. Warren Moon is a Hall of Famer. He threw for 49,320 passing yards. It's about 14,000 less than Rivers. 291 touchdowns to 233 interceptions, so a much worse ratio than Rivers. 7.2 yards an attempt, much less. And 102 to 101 overall win percentage. 102 to 101 overall win-loss, and 58.4% completion percentage. All those stats are worse than Philip Rivers. He never got to an AFC Championship game, yet went to the playoffs 7 different times. So when you go and look at the quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame, if you go look at the older quarterbacks, like people have problems with Namath being in there because of his stats, but he did stuff back in the day that proved it. All those older quarterbacks, they get a bye because that's the way the league worked. Warren Moon didn't play too long ago. So I think it's an accurate comparison for Philip Rivers, but where I want to go with this is personally, even after all that, I don't think Philip Rivers should be in the Hall of Fame. And I think it's all the Hall of Fames, except this is the one thing the MLB is still doing right, in my opinion, is their Hall of Fame, except for not letting Barry Bonds should be in. But they're more exclusive. NFL and NBA Hall of Fame, it's become too wishy-washy in my opinion. Too many people are getting in for not enough. Philip Rivers never won the big game. Never happened. And like you guys will hear me talk about, have heard me talk about it, what do we remember greats by? We remember them by their wins. We remember them by their postseason wins. What happens? And Philip Rivers hasn't had that postseason success. He hasn't been to a Super Bowl, hasn't won a Super Bowl. I don't think he didn't win an MVP. So while the stats are great, he played for a long career, and I think certain records like the 25 straight completions he had should forever be enshrined in the NFL Football Hall of Fame. I do think that we need to begin to be more cautious about who we let into the Hall of Fame and really start to hold it at a higher standard. There's debates like this for Philip Rivers, Tony Romo, a bunch of different players. I'm going to be doing that stuff all throughout the offseason. But for today's first edition of Yay or Nay, I personally believe they should keep Phillip Rivers out of the Hall of Fame, at least not in the first round of ballots he gets. If Phillip Rivers went in on the senior ballot and he continues, because you never know, Phillip Rivers is coach right now. He could work his way up through coaching, end up doing something. He could do a dozen different things, and he could definitely get in on the senior ballot. But right with the main ballots, I think it has to be more prestigious, and I think it needs to be held to a higher standard. That's going to be all for today's edition of Yay or Nay. It'll be here to stay throughout the whole offseason. Now that we got Phillip Rivers all figured out, I want to welcome to the show today Andrew Best and Jonathan Miller. Johnny, Andrew, how's it going, guys? It's been a little while. I'm happy to have you guys back.
Yeah, good to be back.
Yeah, Adam, thanks for having us.
Of course, dogs. I'm happy to have you guys. And as you guys know, a couple weeks ago, Chiefs lost to the Bengals, 49ers lost to the Rams, and now we have a matchup coming up this Sunday with two teams, two completely different cultures. In my opinion, I thought for the Bengals, this was the worst possible matchup they could have gotten out of the whole NFC. I think they could just absolutely, if the Rams put Jalen Ramsey on T. Higgins and then double team Jamar Chase, it could absolutely stop their offense. This game is going to come down, to my opinion, Rams defense being able to stop the Bengals offense. What do you guys think about the game?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think the Bengals' O-line is awful. So, I think, Aaron Donald's going to have a field day. So, I don't think that, it's really just going to come down to how well the Bengals' offensive line can play and, if the Bengals' defense can contain Cooper Kupp.
100% I agree with that. Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, all due respect to Mr. Joe Shiesty. This game not going to be close.
I see it through the first half. I see it not being close at all. I see at the end of the first half this being a 21-3 game, and then it's going to happen in the same way the Rams Buccaneers happen. I think the Bengals will come back. They're going to tie it up 21-21, and then Rams will end up winning it 24-21 or something like that. I think it'll end up being close and end up being a good game. But at halftime, I don't think we're going to see that. The Bengals are going to be way in over their head for that whole first half.
Yeah, the Bengals have had a couple comebacks this year. It seems like they always start slow in the first half, the first quarter or so, and then they tend to pick it up. So.
Yeah, it seemed like with that Chiefs game for Burrow, he was not doing good at all until about halfway through the third quarter, and then that's when he got all of his stats. His stat line was terrible to that point. Yeah, I think the key... What do you guys think the key for the Rams will be in this game?
I think it's just getting pressure on Joe Burrow. You can't give him too much time in the pocket.
See, the thing that's interesting, I found this out today about when you this postseason. Let me find the stat. When you blitz Burrow this postseason, he has been blitzed 20 times. He has completed 17 of those 20 passes when they rush more than 4. Aaron Donald is going to have to be double-teamed. I see him blitzing a couple times, but Aaron Donald is going to have to be double-teamed the whole time. They'll have Von Miller on the other side. I think 3 or 4 guys would do the job for them. And they're going to have to play 7 to 8 deep in order to stop all the Bengals' threats.
Yeah.
Andrew, what are you thinking?
Yeah, the Bengals offensive line does not stand a chance. I'm sorry. No chance.
They let up 9 sacks against Tennessee.
Yeah, the Titans.
Ridiculous.
Who do the Titans even have? Nobody.
No, Titans don't have a terrible defense, but the Rams' defense is 10 times better than the Titans ever was. Titans had 3 guys that had over 8 sacks this season. Yeah, that's great. But Rams got Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Weedle. Now, how do you guys have seen all the Weedle stuff, right?
Weddle?
Where he came out of retirement? Yeah,
oh,
Weddle.
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Weddle.
Yes,
that is
Ravens
amazing.
legend.
And then he's just gonna walk off again after this Super Bowl. The fact he has come in and 3 weeks, now he has the play calling. He is calling the defensive plays for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's amazing that he's able to do
Good
that.
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or he's not calling the defensive plays, but you know how there's a leader on the defense, and like typically it's the middle linebacker that's calling stuff out and stuff like that. That's Weedle this game. So it's definitely impressive what he's been able to do. And on the Bengals side, I'm really worried about Zach Taylor. Sean McVay talked about it earlier this week, and when Sean McVay's obviously still young, but he talked about it earlier this week, and he said in his first Super Bowl against the Patriots, he felt very overwhelmed, felt too prepared, and just didn't know to stick to the basics. I heard, I think it was Tony Dungy talking about it earlier this week. And he was like, with big games like this, you don't want to try and introduce new plays. You don't want to try and introduce new blitz packages, stuff like that. You just want to stick to what you know, what got you here. And I think that's going to be the problem with the Bengals. They're going to come out and try and do all these flashy, fancy things and not doing what got them here in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you guys? So the NFL honors is tonight, and Rodgers is going to get MVP in a couple hours. Personally, I've always had a bit of a problem with the MVP. I know Andrew's upset, and Johnny, I know you're upset being a Bears fan. But my personal opinion with the MVP, it's been this way for a couple of years now for me, and it's been since Rodgers had an extremely dysfunctional year with the Packers, had an amazing year, ran the table back in 2016, and I thought he deserved MVP over Brady, because while Brady had better stats, Brady played the better season. You have to look at the situations people are provided. And Burrow was provided one of the worst possible situations. Got them to the Super Bowl. That's the other problem with this award, in my opinion. The fact that it is just a regular season MVP. Rodgers up there with the trophy. It's not the Super Bowl trophy. Like, who is happy with that? I'm not happy with that. LaFleur's not happy with that. Rodgers isn't happy with that. And if Joe Burrow goes out and wins the Super Bowl, who has done more for a franchise? Everybody had them at fourth in the AFC coming out. Do you guys think he deserves the MVP?
I mean, it's hard to really define a decision on that because it's like, I mean, like you said, it is a regular season award. So if we are just basing the MVP on a regular season award, then I would give it to Rodgers or Brady.
That's my biggest problem, is that it's still a regular season award. I hate that it's just a regular season award. Rodgers got knocked against the 49ers in the first round. What part of that screams that, like, you know, it's just kind of shitty, you know?
Yeah.
It's not it.
I totally agree.
They should They should rename it the Tom Brady Award and give it to Tom Brady every single year for the rest of the time.
Tom Brady's only won 3 MVPs. Yeah, that's my other thing. When you think about Michael Jordan or anything, do you think about how many MVPs he's won?
The GOAT.
But we all know that he has 6 finals. An MVP has not won a Super Bowl since 1999.
Wow.
It's incredible. Brady's the GOAT, but he only has 3 MVPs and has 7 Super Bowls. It's just, like, the whole MVP and being in the regular season, it's beginning to really not make sense to me. Postseason should be factored in
that's what the Super Bowl MVP
I
is
know
for,
that the NFL honors comes right before
the
the
team that wins the
Super
Super
Bowl,
Bowl.
but hell, push it back a week.
Yeah.
Like, that's what realistically needs to happen.
Yeah.
So you guys are both going to take the Rams money line, straight up Rams winning it. We'll get into the spread here in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew, do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Andrew's breaking up. We'll go ahead and move on. Okay, so...
Yes.
I want to play a little game with you guys. It's going to be called This or That. It's basically who is going to have the better game. So we're just going to go through these. And the first one I have is going to be Jamar Chase or Cooper Kupp. Who do you guys think is going to have the better game? Personally, I think it's going to be Cooper Kupp. Oh, we lost Andrew there, but that's okay. Johnny, we can just keep it going here. we lost so Jamar Chase versus Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp is going to have the better game overall. Just see him as the better talent there, and I think they're going to lock down Jamar Chase. That's really the one offensive weapon for the Bengals. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think that Cooper Kupp, he's just a veteran wide receiver, and I feel like, he's been in situations like this before. He hasn't been in the Super Bowl before, right?
Cooper Kupp? Yeah, Cooper Kupp was in it a couple years ago when the Rams.
Oh, that's right.
We got Andrew back.
Cooper Kupp's been there before, so it's like, I think that Jamar Chase, I just don't, I don't see him playing as well as a veteran like Cooper Kupp.
I agree, especially in his first Super Bowl. Kupp is going to have a huge day no matter who the Bengals put on him. Andrew, who do you think, Jamar Chase or Cooper Kupp? Who is going to have the better game?
Wait, who's this and who's that?
Who's going to have the better game? What? Yeah, this or that. Who is going to have the better game on Sunday?
Who's this and who's that? Is Jamar Chase this or that?
Jamar Chase is this. Cooper Kupp is that. This or that. That? All right. We're all on that. Cooper Kupp. All right. Next one. Matthew Stafford versus Joe Burrow. Who is going to have the better game on Sunday? Matthew Stafford this, Joe Burrow that. It's a tough one. I think they're going to be pretty even, but I got to go with my boy Joe Shiesty, so I'm going to go that.
Yeah. I was actually going to say the same thing. I think Joe Burrow is going to have a better game. I think that the Rams just might rely a little bit more on the run game than the Bengals will, because Cam Akers, I know Joe Mixon is obviously, better than Cam Akers, but I feel like the Rams like to run the ball more than the Bengals do.
Yeah, 100%. I just think overall that, the Rams like to run the ball more. The Bengals have Joe Mixon, but they're going to need Joe Burrow to ball out in order for them to have any chance at winning this game. So definitely I have Joe Burrow in my opinion. And we lost Andrew again. That's okay. Andrew's having technical problems. Sorry, guys. But we're just going to keep on rolling here. We got T. Higgins as the this, and we got OBJ as the that. Who's going to have the better game? I got OBJ here. I don't know. I think if they do manage to lock down Kupp, I think OBJ is going to have it.
Yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. has been waiting for this moment like his whole life, so I don't see him folding in any way for the Super Bowl.
Andrew, now we're on T. Higgins is this, and OBJ is that.
Okay. Wait. Can I answer the ones I missed, get caught up?
What'd you say?
Can I answer the ones I missed and get caught up?
Yeah, you missed Matthew Stafford is this, and Joe Burrow is that.
Wow.
We both picked Joe Burrow.
Oh, wow. I got this.
You got this? You got Matthew Stafford. All right, sounds good. And then we have T. Higgins as this, and OBJ as that.
Interesting. That.
We both took OBJ.
Sweet. OBJ.
You got OBJ? All right.
Yep.
And then we got two more on this game. This or that. Rams defense is this. Bengals defense is that. The Rams defense is 10 times better than the Bengals. And unless the Bengals come in and do something absolutely amazing, I think the Rams, they're going to have it. Jonathan?
Yeah, it's got to be this. Got to be the Rams defense.
Yeah.
So.
100%.
Yeah, this. Big time.
This? All right, we're all
Ramsey,
on that. And then
Von
last
Miller.
one, we got the two head coaches. And one, Zach Taylor, the this. I think Zach Taylor is going to be outgunned for the first half. Sean McVay is going to come in here with the perfect game plan installed. It's going to work out well for them. I got the Sean McVay with the that.
Yeah, I also have Sean McVay with that.
Andrew?
Yes, I also have Sean McVay for that. And Adam, I have this or that for you, if you don't mind me asking.
Oh, I love it. What do you have?
Okay. Which team name is better? This, the Rams, or that, the Bengals?
Or that, the Bengals? You cut out there for a second.
Yes, sorry. That, the Bengals.
Which team name's better? I know you've been working on your team ranking, so I got to think of who you have higher. Los Angeles Rams, Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are definitely the better
Bengals
name.
are a better name.
Yeah,
100%. 100%. And to be exact, the Bengals are third in my rankings, and the Rams are 21st. So, big advantage
You
for
have
the
the Rams
Bengals.
that low?
Yes.
That's a bit harsh.
I can't believe you really ranked.
I mean,
all
that's
these
like
so-
average, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's cool, but it's kind of just like generic and short.
All right, now that we have the this or that all settled, we're going to come back to the Super Bowl in a few minutes to make our final picks for you guys. But before then, Johnny, you're my college basketball guy. There's been crazy upsets that are coming every single week now. I know your team, Purdue, is down right now to Michigan. I don't know. Right before we started recording, that was the case. Are you still watching? What's the score?
We're down by 15. We're not winning.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
okay. It happens.
So we got number 3 Purdue about to lose to Michigan.
Yes.
We have Auburn, who was number 1, just lost. We have Arizona last week, who was ranked 4 and lost. And Duke just lost the other night to UVA. March is going to be absolutely amazing this year. Johnny, where do you see this going? What do you think's going to happen?
I mean, honestly, like I don't think any team is as put together as Gonzaga is. Like, they just consistently have their stuff together, and like I feel like this is the year that they finally do it. That, or I mean, I think Purdue also has a good chance. They just got some stuff to work out. But Auburn, I think Auburn are a bunch of frauds. They've played a lot of close games a lot recently. Like they beat Georgia by like 2 on like a very
Yeah, I remember seeing the play.
a debatable foul call. So there's that, and Kentucky's good, but I think Kentucky might be a little young. They just I mean, John Calipari is a great coach, but
Before you joined, Andrew was talking like Kentucky. He's thinking Kentucky's going to take it this year.
really,
Yep.
interesting.
Maybe. Just
Okay.
keep an eye on Kentucky. They're good. Good team. Kentucky and Purdue.
I like it. I need to start following college basketball more since we're getting closer to March and the NFL season is all wrapped up. Excited for March this year. I think each year it's like March gets more insane, and last year with UCLA it was amazing. I can't wait again. What do we got? We got about a month and a half.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a good time. College basketball is heating up with all these upsets.
Yeah, I'm excited for the the ACC tournament and the Big Ten tournament and like all the Power 5 tournaments. Those are, I think, in my opinion, like that's like the build up right before March Madness, of course, and I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of the year for college basketball. So
yeah, 100%. March Madness is the best.
I
What
know
were
we
you
had a
saying,
tough
Andrew?
loss the other night to the boys in Durham, but don't let the heels get hot. Don't let us get hot.
I mean, that's honestly like that's a valid point because I feel like UNC, they have a lot of quick athletic guards, and they're Baycott and Manic are a good inside duo. They just, I don't know, like the roster is talented. I think you guys just have
we
some
just
things
rely
you need
on
to work out.
Our guard play is inconsistent, and Caleb and RJ, they've been struggling a little bit lately. Have some mental things, but if they figure it out and become the all ACC players that they have the talent to become, this team is going to be really good.
Yeah. I mean, I think if I had to pick 5 teams, these are my 5 teams right now.
Oh wow!
That I think are going to be one of the 5 that are going to win it all. So Gonzaga, Purdue, Kentucky. I'm gonna have to go. I hate to say it, but Auburn. I know I called them frauds, but you never know. They're playing like frauds right now, but in March they could get hot. And then I'm actually gonna throw Kansas.
Oh, that's a good one. Kansas,
Okay.
Kansas is good.
Andrew, you got 5?
Oh yeah. Okay. Purdue,
Okay.
Kentucky,
Okay.
Kansas,
Yep.
North Carolina,
Okay.
and the Illini.
Okay. I
Okay.
like that. The Illini actually have a very good 3-point shooting team, and they have the best center in the nation. So it's like when they're not hitting from 3, they can just go to Kobe Coburn. The only problem with Illinois is that, like when I noticed when Purdue beat them on Tuesday night, is if they face a team with 2 good inside big men, and if because Kofi has to sit, he can't play the whole game, so like Purdue almost every time they took Kofi out of the game, Purdue would just go on a little run because they can just attack the inside because whoever the other center is or forward for Illinois can't guard other good big men.
It's going to be interesting. I can't wait for March to come this year. It can't come quick enough.
I'm so excited.
You guys got any more thoughts about college basketball, or you want to go on to the NBA trade deadline that was today?
I'm good to go to the NBA.
All right, sweet. So trade deadline was today. We had a bunch of trades that ended up going through last second. The two big ones that everybody saw today, the Mavs trade, and then we had the Harden and Ben Simmons trade. The Harden and Ben Simmons, it was wild, the amount that Philly gave away. I think this is the type of trade that is going to make Philly better than the Nets this year. But come next year and come the long term, I think that the 76ers are going to be the much, much better team. This is the second team in the last 2 years that Harden's wanted out of. He's been an all-star for the last 10 years and can't get comfortable anywhere. And now the 76ers are taking on a $250 million contract in hope that he's going to be comfortable. On the bright side, they now have Harden and Embiid, which is a lethal combo. But I hate that they had to get rid of Seth Curry for it. I really like Seth, and I don't like where it's going. What were your guys' thoughts on the trade?
I thought it was an amazing trade for both Philly and Brooklyn, but I think that it's hard to say who won the trade because it's like Embiid really needed another piece, to really push Philly over the hump. Because it's like, it was really just him and then, a bunch of like good supporting cast, but he didn't really have another star to take Philly to the next level. And Brooklyn, it's like they didn't, like when you think about it, they didn't really need Harden because they already have KD and Kyrie. But the addition of Ben Simmons, I think, will benefit them a lot. And Curry,
I think Ben Simmons is going to fit into that perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, this could be one of the best things that have ever happened to Ben Simmons.
Yeah. It sucks because it's like the Bulls have been playing so well, and, they had a great free agency, but they're not...
They're not going to come playoffs, they're not going to be able to compete.
Yeah,
they won't be able to hold up.
Yeah. That's brutal.
Andrew, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, this might go down as one of the biggest win-win trades in NBA history. From the Sixers' point of view, you're trying to trade Ben Simmons because he doesn't want to play for you, obviously. And then they offer CJ McCollum. You say, no, we want a superstar. Everybody says, no, you can't get a superstar for Ben Simmons. He doesn't shoot, Who wants Ben Simmons? And then they say, no. They turn around and get James Harden, who's like a top 10 player in the NBA. Even though sometimes he has some issues like with playing and getting along with teammates, he's extremely talented player. And the fact that they got him for Ben Simmons, that's just a really good business. And really Nets, they had to get rid of James Harden, and they got the upside with Ben Simmons to go along with Kyrie and KD. Could work really well for them also. So it's trades both teams really needed to make, and they both, especially when you don't have leverage because the guys you're trading want to be traded and they're just sitting out. It's a good deal on both sides.
Yeah, I thought it was a great trade overall. I thought all the trades that happened today were good trades. The only thing I was upset that didn't happen was Westbrook. I really wish Westbrook would have gotten traded. He's looked so bad the last few games, and he's just old with the big cap. It's not a pretty look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Aaron Rodgers just won MVP, so...
Love to hear it. I'm missing the acceptance speech. Four-time. I know you guys saw that video of him at the golf course.
Didn't see it.
Flashing the four. Yeah. All right, so we can go ahead and head on to the final picks of the week ahead of the Super Bowl.
We barely talked about the trade deadline. We didn't talk about the Trez trade. Derrick White to the Celtics. A sneaky, very big trade. The Celtics are getting hot at the right time. And they just picked up Derrick White to play point guard. Good trade.
Yep.
So... And the Kings, by the way.
I don't like the Herald trade. Overall, I don't like the Herald trade that much, but it could work out for the Hornets.
I really like the Cavs now, actually.
I like the Cavs too. Dude, how did they turn it around?
Yeah, I really like
the Cavs are playing well, but I don't know.
It's amazing the turnaround that they've
Yeah,
got.
the NBA playoffs in the East is going to be so interesting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm so
no,
excited.
it's going to be a war, dude.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And the West, too. It's going to be a war all
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be
Absolutely.
good. You guys got any more
the Kings
thoughts?
trading what's his name
Nope,
to the
I'm good.
Pacers. Terrible.
Oh my god, yeah, no, that was
Yes.
Tyrese
idiotic.
Halliburton.
Yes,
I forget
Halliburton.
his name, but that was
Yes.
idiotic.
Yeah.
One bright spot.
Yeah.
So final picks out of the Super Bowl. We got Cincinnati versus LA. Rams are 4-point favorites. The over-under is 48.5. My pick for this week is going to be Cincinnati +4. Like I said to you guys, I think it's going to be like 21-3. Bengals are going to bring it back. It's going to end up being a 24-21 ball game. It means the under 48.5 is going to hit. That means Cincinnati +4 is going to hit. What do you guys think? John?
Oh, sorry, my laptop glitched for a second.
You're all good.
What was the question?
You're all good. So Rams are favored by 4, and over-under is 48.5. What do you think?
Okay. Oh, under.
Under? Yeah, 100%
Under,
under,
yeah.
And Rams by 4 or Bengals +4?
Rams by 4.
Rams by 4. I got Bengals +4. Andrew, you got me, or did you cut out
I got
again?
you. I got the Rams winning 27-13, which would be Rams -4,
Ooh.
and I believe that would be the under. So there you have it.
Under. So we all got the under, and you two got Rams -4. All right. Now I'm going to get into, I know you guys might not have any prop bets or anything. I'm just going to run through these real quick like I did the other week for prop bets. I really like Jamar Chase anytime touchdown score. I think if the Bengals have any chance at win, Jamar Chase is going to have to catch a touchdown. Joe Mixon under 64.5 rushing yards. I think this is going to be overall a passing type ball game, and the Rams have a lethal defense, especially up front. So I don't expect Joe Mixon to get 64.5. He only got 88 against the Chiefs, and the Rams are a much better defense who have not let over 65 yards of rushing in weeks now. I got OBJ over 5.5 receptions. If the Bengals want to have a chance at winning, they're going to have to lock down Kupp, and there's no Robert Woods. So I think OBJ gets over 5.5 receptions easy. And if you guys are rich and just want to throw $100 down on something, I think Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP, +600 is a great bet to take. If a quarterback doesn't win it, it's going to be Kupp or it's going to be Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's got like +1,000 or 10,000 odds. It's great. So definitely be looking at those. And Andrew, Johnny, you got any more thoughts for me for today?
I would like to reveal my
good?
favorite team name
All
in
right.
the NFL. The 49ers.
Yeah, what's your favorite
The
team name,
49ers.
Andrew?
Yeah.
Really?
I like the 49ers.
Okay.
Of all,
All right.
I respect it.
me and Johnny
Top
are
five.
both as confused,
Top 5,
but we're going to
Vikings,
go ahead and
Dolphins,
end it
Bengals,
off
Saints,
today,
Niners.
guys. Interesting. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's Super Bowl edition of the show. I've now done 17 editions across this NFL season, and I can't wait for what's to come next. Special thanks to Levi, Andrew, and Johnny for coming on the show to talk with me today. I'll see you all next week for the start of our off-season coverage.